Does this make me look fat? Hello everyone, today's video is going to be on the underwater loot crates, what they look like, best way to find them, and what you'll be dealing with when you do find them. To start out with, you're going to need to have a scuba suit. You don't necessarily have to use all of the scuba suit. Your main thing that you're going to need is the scuba tank so you can breathe underwater, and you're going to need the goggles. And let me find my goggles so I can put them on. There we go. Your goggles are going to be the most important thing alongside with your tank. The legs work well to give you some insulation in cold water. You don't necessarily have to use them, but the goggles are the only way you're going to be able to see the red glow from these loot crates underwater. So you'll need to make sure you have the goggles on, and you won't be able to see the loot crates if you're in this third-person view. You have to be in first-person view like this to be able to see the red glow from the loot crates, which kind of sucks. But I mean, once I show you what they look like, you'll see why it's so good to use the goggles. If you're on a primitive server, you're pretty much screwed because there are no goggles or air tanks. You can use the Lazarus chowder or whatever it's called. I think I have the right name. You can use that to go underwater. I'll show you what the areas are and what they look like without the goggles, so you can kind of try to see what you're looking at. I mean, it's still you're basically gonna have to try to go to the location by sight because you don't have a GPS as well. Look for landmarks or whatever, and then search in that area. Once you get the route down, it gets pretty easy. But I'll show you what those look like and kind of spin around a little bit so you can get your eyes on the land and everything and know where you're at. All right. So the one thing you'll need going out there, your scuba suit obviously, but you're gonna need a lot of cooked meat, especially if you're using a normal scuba suit. You're gonna have a lot of areas where you're gonna be freezing, and you're gonna go through your food bar pretty fast. I have a Mastercraft scuba suit, except for the tank. I have a Mastercraft blueprint for the tank, but I've just been using this one, which keeps me insulated pretty well, so I don't really have to worry about that. I did have to worry about that before I got this suit. I found this suit underwater at these loot crates, so I mean, you can find some pretty awesome stuff. Here's a sword I found under there. Ascended metal sickle. I found the blueprint for this actually, so I can make these forever now. Even though I have an ape, ape does better than that, but anyhow, it's nice to have sometimes. I don't have my flippers on. I use the flippers just because it makes me swim faster. You don't have to use all this stuff. You could just use your tank and goggles. So we're gonna get on our big boy, which is actually a girl. Don't tell anybody that it's a girl. And we're gonna head to our first location. First location is actually right here at my base. All right, so here's a drop on top of the cave, right underneath my base. This is your coordinates, and let's see what we get. A wooden club blueprint. No idea where I'm at right now, but I'm gonna swim to the next drop just because it's really close by. I'll head this way first. I don't go all the way around the map this way. I just head over here to this second location because it's really close by. First off, after going to that cave portion. But what you're going to do is whenever you're going from the cave this way, you're going to go. There's a plesiosaurus. Let me kill this guy. You're going to go through this little cavern area, and you'll be at the next drop. Plesiosaurus is, you're going to be having to fight tons of these level 35 ones in groups of 2. They're pretty much all over the place around caves. If you're on something weak, you know, I would just run, just swim up to the top, and they won't chase you up to the top. If you're on something stronger, like what I'm on, you know, you can just kill them off and get the experience. They don't give good loot at all, unless you want some firework skins for your flare gun. I mean, they give just a ton of leather and some prime meat. But this is the location of the next drop. You would see it right here on the sand. I mean, it's not hidden or anything like that. I mean, it's just going to be sitting right on the sand. And I'm at 10.3, 29.6. Again, that's not the official location you'll see on the map, but it gives you a close idea of where to be at. Alright, here's our next location. You're looking for 9.6, 61.7. I'm just up here on top to kind of give you a view of where you need to be compared to the land if you're on a primitive server. But we're going to go down now. And this is another one that's going to be pretty much right out in the open if it's actually here. A good thing to look for underwater is this little corridor thing right here. That's what I always look for when I'm underwater trying to find it, but it's going to be right in this area, right on the sand, plain as day, not hidden by anything at all. So it's not here right now, but you would see it right in this area. So now we'll go to the next location and pick up the video there. So your next location, or your next 4 locations actually, are going to be around Dead Island. These are actually pretty easy ones to find. I start by going to 880, which you pretty much just stay on the edge over here, and then you can go down. I'll pull my GPS out in just a second. But that one's located right here. So see, it's not here right now, but if you stay on the very edge where the invisible wall is, this is what it looks like without the goggles, and it'll be right here. It's not going to be hidden in this grass or anything like that. It's just going to be right out on the sand, easy to find and pick up. So if you don't see it right there, just go ahead to the next spot, which is just go straight up this and head this way over here. You'll see the next. It'll actually be the cave. The location of the next one's going to be 8.4, 90.8. But whenever you're swimming through, you're just looking for the cave formation that's right here coming up, and you're going to have your standard plesiosauruses around guarding the cave, and you can see it right there. You see that flashing red light? You see how I can see that from far away with the goggles on. Take the goggles off, now you see how it looks right like that. It's just a little white dot, no red at all. This is why it's important to make sure that you have the goggles equipped if you're on a normal server. If you're on a primitive server, you're just gonna have to know that it's located on that cave, and you're gonna have lots of these little things around. Most of the time, there's usually a mosasaurus around here. And the server's saving right now, so it's gonna be a second. And the server's still saving right now. This is the only downside of being on a, or one of the, no, I wouldn't say only downside, one of the downsides of being on the normal official server. This stuff takes forever. There we go. And there's some anglers floating around. I don't really like anglers because they will come in and bite you a few times and swim off, and they seem so tiny to try to kill, especially on this big thing. Oh, there's the Mosasaurus. I would not. I've killed a Mosasaurus of level 4 with my Sarco. I mean, but it took a pretty big chunk of life from me. I wouldn't really recommend fighting these guys if you don't have a Plesiosaurus like I have. Your best bet, if you don't have a strong dinosaur, is to grab its attention, swim over to another area, and while it's following you, then just swim straight up, because they won't follow you going up. And then they'll be in that area. They're pretty slow. They'll stay in that area, and you'll be free to go and grab the crate. And there's another Plesiosaurus. You will need to be able to kill these guys, just because they have such a huge aggro range. Your dinosaur's going to have to be able to deal with these. I mean, you could go the route of trying to draw them away and sending them to another area, but I mean, you're going to have to swim pretty far away with these guys trailing you to get them out of the area so you can loot that. And it's probably, if you're on an official server, you know that, you know, certain times of the day the dinosaur spawn is pretty low. This doesn't have to be one of those times. As you can see, there's tons of these things everywhere. So, you know, if you can hit it up whenever it spawns low, it'd probably be the best. And this is the kind of stuff you're going to deal with in the ocean. Anglers are probably my biggest headache, because it just takes so long to kill, and then they run off every 3 seconds. But that's what the loot crate looks like with the goggles. There it is without the goggles. Let's take the goggles off completely, just so we can see. It kind of does glow without goggles on a little bit if you're looking down at it, but you know, using the goggles is going to be your best option. Let's see what we get. Ooh, whoa, that's nice. Wow, I've been looking for one of those, and I have the highest. Since I have the highest gig on the server, that's crazy. I already had one that was that was at 40 armor, so this just brings it up even more. So that's gonna be your next spot, right on top of this cave. And the one following this is not very far off, so you want to head basically to the edge of the island. Swim up through, either way, it doesn't really matter, you can swim up this way. But you're looking for this little valley, I guess you could call it, that's going to have the next the next two, and like it's going to be pretty much a line you're going to swim in. Yep, there's some more Plesiosaurs. This is why it's kind of important to have a strong water dinosaur. And in another video, I'm going to show you how to solo tame Plesiosaurs. I mean, it's extremely easy if you know how to do it. And I'm going to show you, you know, easy way to do it. I mean, if you have the kibble, the Rex kibble to tame one, you know, you can get it done pretty simple. I'll definitely will show you that in another video. Your next spot is going to be right in this little valley. This is what it looks like without any goggles. You're just going to swim over until you get to this little valley, and there's a shark. And your spot that you're looking for is 23.786.3, which, if I'm not mistaken, is right here. Make sure nothing's around. We're at 25.89. Oh wow, that was a close one. Yeah, see these guys, I mean, their aggro range is crazy. You go read the information on them, it's like that. It says how they're so not interested in people. That's just crap, because these guys will come after you from halfway across the map, it seems like. Oh, actually, he's just swimming around. So we are 24.88. If I remember right, it was just pretty much in this area right here, and I'm like almost 100% sure it was in this area, around this oil thing. You just find this oil drop deposit, and you'll see it if it's here. It's not under any type of grass or anything like that. It's out in the open. But the next one's going to be at 21.878.6, and this one's pretty easy to find. You just go straight down this little valley, I guess you call it. I just call it valley. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want to, ravine, but you just head straight down it. You'll see this little bridge looking thing, and if it was here, it would be right here in this spot, right on the side of this hill going up. Pretty easy to see, nothing to it, not hidden at all. You know, if you want to use a reference from above, you're right here. Alright, so we're pretty much at the next spot now. It's going to be 45.90. So on GPS, I'm at 45.5, 90.5. That's what the land's going to look like if you want to use a land reference. You're right before the swamp. So let's go ahead and head down. Alright. So this one is going to be located right here. Wherever this little oil thing is, you would see it right there. That's what it looks like without the goggles. Alright, so we're coming up on our next location, which is going to be at Herbivore Island. You're going to go around the backside of it, going this way. It's actually going to be in the corner of the map where the invisible wall is at. So let's check our GPS real quick just to show you. 81, 89. We need to get to 89.7, 90.6. We'll just keep heading this way. And I'm going to go ahead and head down. Alright, your landmark, sorry, I had to clear my throat. Your landmark that you're going to look for is going to be this underwater cave right here. With underwater cave means there's probably going to be some plesiosaurs around here. I don't see any right now, but you know, they come out of nowhere whenever they are around, so I think there's actually two right there in the distance, but maybe those are sharks. But anyhow, your underwater little loot crate, whatever you're gonna call it, if I remember right, would be right here on the side. Make sure nothing's around. We're at 90, 91. When you go 89, 7, 96. So yeah, it's gonna be right in this area. This is what it looks like without the goggles. It's not gonna be in this growth. There are some in growth in other areas, but this one's going to be right out in the open. So 91.8, 69.8. It's going to be right in this location. I can't really get my pleasant sort of right in here, right in there. Try right on the side of this cave right here. So now we'll go to our next location. So at our next spot now, there was a boat here that I actually claimed. I don't know whose boat it was, but it's a pretty good landmarker to let me know that I'm getting close to the next spot. This spot's going to be 9135. Let's go down. Somebody made a ladder. Look at this. Alright, server's done saving. Get rid of this stupid shark. And we're looking for 9135. 9135, there's the cave right there. It's kind of what you're looking for without the goggles. You're going to go down through here. And you're alright, we're at 9135, and there is nothing here. Alright, we're close to our next location. We're at 89. 13, we need to be at 90.9, 11.4. So go ahead and head down. This one is, if I remember right, this one is one that's kind of hidden in the seaweed and all that nice stuff. You're going to want to look for this little area where kind of the grass and seaweed and all that goes up into this. It's like a little pathway up, which this one will be a pain in the ass if you're on the primitive server. 91, 11.4 is where we're at right now. So it's right up in here. We're looking for 90.9, 11.4. So if it was here, you would see the glow to it. But yeah, this is one of those ones that are going to be buried, so it kind of sucks. All right, so next one's 86.9, which is right close by. And we have a Plesiosaurus. Part. If I remember right, there's a little red on the ground down here. Little red plants or whatever. Alright. So this is going to be the area place. Let me go up here and show you. Alright. This is kind of what it looks like without goggles. You're going to look for that little alleyway right there. Hold on a second, let me fix this. For whatever reason, it gets stuck like this sometimes. There. I don't know why it does that, but anyhow. You're looking for this little alleyway. You'll know you're in the right spot because when you go to the end of it, if I can squeeze through my fat body, and you'll see this little kind of area right here where you can turn around at. So that's kind of your cue that you're in the right spot. The beacon would be right where this oil is. It won't be hidden at all, so if you don't see it there right away, then it's not there. So the next spot's going to be 59.3, 7.5. It's a little bit ways off, so I will see you in just a minute. Alright, we're getting close to our next one, which is 59.3, 7.5. We're at 62 right now, so let's go ahead and head down. Well, let me go back up and show you the landmark, because I know how it is on primitive servers. And that's basically what you're gonna be looking for. And we're right at the visible wall, so you can go down right here. Way down right here, and here we are. Let's get rid of the shark real quick. And these damn dolphins, I mean, if you want a lot of meat, this is a good place to get it, because the dolphins will just swim right up to you so they can die. I don't understand what their logic is behind that, but and for some reason I have frozen up. Alright, so we are now at the next location, close to the next location, that is. Let's see, 62 still. We're gonna head to 59.3 corner. It would be right here. 59.3, 7.4, or 7.5. That would be where it's at. It's not going to be hidden in the grass or anything. It would be just sitting right there on the sand. So from here, and basically you can, come on, suck it in. Alright, and basically you get there just by following, going right to where I showed you up on top, and then just staying along the invisible wall. You can just swim right across and you'll end up seeing it if it's there. The next one is right close by at 51.3, 11.2. You just go straight on down, and once you can, you're going to go toward the land, toward the mainland, that is. Let's get rid of this stupid, both these little anglers. And a shark too. I will say, once you get a plesiosaur, I mean, you don't have to get one like this one was tamed at 116. You don't have to have a 116 to dominate the ocean. The one I had before this was I tamed at level 75, and it did perfectly fine against even the toughest Mosasaurus. You get tons of meat with them. They're pretty fast. They got a lot of weight. Turn radius isn't that great, but neither is anything else in the ocean, so it's not that big of a deal. But your next one is going to be right here at this cave. Alright, easy to spot because there's a cave, and it would be right here in this spot. It's not here. You would see it if it was here. It's not hidden or anything like that, so it's not there. And then now we are going to head to the Arctic. Arctic's where you're going to run into your, I'm going to eat now. It's where you'll run into your food issues if you don't have a upgraded scuba suit. Let's go up to the top here, just so you can get an idea of where I'm at. Alright, so we're about to head into the Arctic. There's going to be two different underwater drops here, or locations here for underwater drops, and the best way to locate them is to go to the two main major islands, or icebergs over here. If you look at your map, oh yeah, I can't look at my map because I'm on this. Let's pull the map out. Those two big iceberg spots right there at 30 and the one right up at 10. That's where we're going to be going. So it's easier to find this underwater. Well, I wouldn't call that easy for primitive, but you'll see what I'm saying when we get there. So you're basically going to go to the first big island, which is this one right here, and we're going to look on the very edge of it at the bottom. Let's kill, and you can see it right there. See the drop? So the drop was here. While I was killing everything around it, somebody came and grabbed it. I'm not sure who it was. It's kind of a dick move, but anyhow, we'll move on to the next one. The next one's not too far off, so I'll just keep the video running. It's going to be at the next large island. You can use that as your guide. Stamina. Maybe we'll see that person as we finish our lap around the island. Alright, so there's the island up top there, and we have a group of plesiosaurs, like always. Let's take these guys out. We're going to come down through this way. Keep heading along this edge. That's the best way to, that's what it looks like without goggles, but that's the best way to get your bearings and keep them where they should be. Whenever you come around to this rocky area, you'll see a little pathway that goes through, and the drop will be right here. It's not here now, because if it was, whoever just stole the one from me from over there probably took this one too, but it's not here. So we will go to the last spot before we make our complete round, and that's going to be and this is the area it's in. It's pretty easy to spot this one because it's just gonna be right on the sand. So now that we run a complete lap around, these drops are they drop in twos, so that means there's two at one of the drop locations at all times. Once you find one, that spot will have an hour cooldown on it, so it won't be at that spot again for an hour. Pretty much what it means. These cooldowns are independent of each other. So basically, once you find one at one spot, you know for the next hour it's not going to be at that spot again. And this is back at the small cave where I live at. So our next video is going to be on how to tame underwater dinosaurs. If you want to get ready for that video, what you will need is a Sarco. So go out and tame a high-level Sarco, preferably over level 100, is what you're going to need to tame underwater dinosaurs. So go grab that, and I'll see you on the next video.